Okay, so we'll be starting today's class now. Um, yeah, so today we'll be looking into Git. Git. What is Git? Git is a distributed version control system, and it is used to track changes in source code during software development. This Git we are talking about allows multiple developers to work on a project simultaneously without overwriting each other's work, right? Git allows and encourages you to have multiple local branches that can be entirely independent of each other. Now, what is this saying? Two developers can be working on a particular project, not even talking about two developers. As a front-end developer, you always need a back-end developer to work with.
Okay.
For instance, when you are working on a contact us page, you want people to write a message and you want to deliver to a particular email or whatsoever. You need a backend to stage and set up an API for you. It is when the backend stage and set up the API for you. That is when you can integrate it in the project you are working on, right? So how do you now work with a backend developer to achieve this aim? That is where Git comes up. You can be in South Africa, be working on a project with somebody in Nigeria or any other part.
Mm-hmm.
You can be working on a project and everything will be working fine. That is where this Git comes up. It also allows you to create different branches, different local branches to work with. These local branches, they will be independent on their own, right? So this Git is a very, very important tool for any developer, either you are a front end, you are a back end, or a full stack developer, right? So now we are going to move on to key commands. What are the key commands in GitHub? And what do they stand for? Init. This init is an abbreviation for initialize, right? So before you can start your project, before you can do anything, before you can push your project to GitHub,
Mm-hmm.
you have to initialize it on your local host, on your local storage. And the command is git init. Git init. This git init, it initializes a new Git repository. You must have created a repository on your GitHub account, right? So you now come to your local host and type the git init command. This initializes a new Git repository in your project folder. After the git init, then the next thing is to add. You already initialize it, right? So now the next thing for you is to add. But I'm thinking the reason you are actually having that challenge could be because probably you did you download Git on your system?
Yes. Yeah, I did it.
You downloaded Git and you installed Git, right?
Yes.
Okay, after installing, did you initialize it also?
No.
Because there's this particular command. Okay, I think that's the reason. I don't know if we can do it now. I think doing well. Let me just write the command you need. How did you open your GitHub account? Did you open it with your email?
Yeah, with your email.
Or
Yeah.
how did you sign? Okay, let me just let me have this here. I didn't have it because you said you're already using Git, so I thought it's already working. So if you want to initialize your Git now, I'll help you write this and drop this for this document in group. So if you want to initialize it, after you must have downloaded it and installed it, right? So you initialize
Mm-hmm.
it, and this is the command you type in your downloaded Git. That would be Git bash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in your downloaded Git, you run this command git
Okay.
config. That means you want to configure it. Git
Okay.
config dash dash. Now you make it global space, then your username. your username.
Okay.
Okay, your username. Then, sorry, let me just move this down. Then for your email, we have the same pattern, git config. Then we have a dash, we make it global, of course, global. Then you have your email, user email, the particular email you used,
Okay.
user email, email. So once you have done it, that means you have initialized it and connected it with your GitHub account. I think you've not connected the GitHub on your local system to your main account using this command. That is why everything you are pushing and doing is not reflecting in your account, because that not been connected to any local host. Did you get it? So this is very important. Once you've done this, then everything you pushed should be able to reflect on your GitHub,
Okay.
and you'll be able to get your repository also, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, to
Understand.
confirm if this name, the name and email is properly registered, after you must run this and run this code, press enter, you run the second code, you press enter. Now to confirm if it is properly, registered,
Mm-hmm.
to confirm it, that's properly registered. So just run this code so that you'll be able to see that, okay, what you've done is properly registered. Git config list. So if you run this code now, it is going to list your name and your email.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to bring out your name and your email. That's what it's going to print out for you. So that means you are good to go.
Okay.
Is everything clear?
Yeah. Get it.
Abdul Salam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Can you hear me? Okay, I think you're talking, but I can't hear you. Let me check. Unfortunately, I can't hear you, Abdul Salam. I think it's network, but if you have any question, just drop it in the group for me, okay? So that okay, yes, I can. Okay, I've seen your message. Just drop any message for me till I can hear you. So now let's move on to staging. All this. Okay, let's talk about staging. Git staging and environment, right? And Git command. Before we talk about these key commands, Git has a staging that stores files. Okay, it has staging rather. It is a that stores file and changes made to the file that has not been committed. Changes that are made to the files that are not committed yet. Okay.
Yes.
Committing. Now, what do we mean by commit? Committing is the process in which the code is added to the local repository. That's Git commit. Committing, this is a process in which the code, okay, is added to your local repository. Before you can push, you have to add whatever you want to push, right? You have to add them. Okay, you've done this, you've worked on the home page, you've worked on the hero session, you've worked on this session. Now you want to push it, you have to commit it. This is a process whereby you are adding all your, code to the local repository. It has to be in staging area. Now, what are the staging area? That is where these key commands come in. How do we stage them before we push them? That is how these commands, that's the first one. You initialize your repository, you initialize your Git, you make your folder be ready to be pushed to Git. That's the initialization. Now we move on to the add, git add space, then full stop. That git add space and full stop, that means you already stage everything right? It is everything you worked on presently. Let's say, for instance, I worked on the home page and the about page. If the
Mm-hmm.
command I run is git add space and full stop, that means I want to push everything I've worked on home and the about page. But let's say I've worked on the home page and the about page, but then the only thing I want to push to my GitHub account is the home page alone. I don't want to push the about page, but I've worked on it. What do I do? That is where this git add and the file comes up.
Okay.
So I can decide to just push the home alone without pushing the about. Maybe I'm not cleared about something yet and I've worked on it and I want it to still be on my own local system, but I don't want to push it because I'm not cleared yet. So just leave that one out and just push only the home, right? So we are pushing only the home file.
Okay.
Do you understand the difference now?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So that's just the main difference between it. Now, after your git add, this is just the way you stage them. The first thing is your git init, right? The second one is your git add. Either you had the file or add and full stop. You had everything, right? Now, the next thing is to write your commit message, git commit. Git commit. Now, how do you write your commit message? Just exactly the command I've written here. Git commit -m and the message. Your message can be, this is my first commit. Your message can be, I added go to this whatsoever. Git commit is just you explaining what you have pushed, because when you finally push to GitHub, the commit message will be what will be at your GitHub space, at the space there. The message you are having in your commit will be what will be displayed. It is exactly what it's telling whosoever you are working with, or the organization, or your boss, or whatsoever, or whoever that is looking into your account, that okay, this is what this person did here. Okay, you pushed the about. Okay, you worked on the hero session. Okay, you did this. That is the message that is going to reflect. So that is your commit message. You have to know how to, compile it together for whosoever you are working with to understand what you have done, what you have pushed at this moment. So that is your commit. Do you understand?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. Okay, so now moving on to, we have Git status. This Git status, it shows current status of working directory. Just like this, to confirm it has properly been registered, right? You want to check the status of your name and your email. If it has been registered, you are checking the status, right? So we have Git status while working on your local host also. This Git status, it shows current status of working directory and staging area. This means it is going to show details of what you have, worked on, all everything. If you want to push at a moment now, it's just going to show what you pushed presently. Maybe you pushed the hero session and the about session or whatsoever. Now, if you now want to check everything you have pushed so far, everything you have worked on so far, that is where this git status comes up. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have the git log. This git log is going to show your commit history, all your commit messages, all what you've committed so far. That's what it's going to show. Then we have git push. This git push, that is when you are pushing to GitHub. That is the last command you run. When you are done checking, you are done, writing your commit messages, linking your repository URL. Now the last one you run is your git push. This git push is now going to upload your local changes to a remote repository. Is the one that is going to push everything. It's going to upload everything to your remote repository. Now we have git pull. What is git pull? Let me explain it in a layman language. For instance, if myself and you as a front-end developer, we are working on a particular project. Now I'm working on the home, you are working on the about. I've done some, code on my home page. You have also run some on your about page. You have pushed to your own side. I have pushed to my own side. Now, how do I see what you've worked on? And how do you see what I've worked on also? That is where git pull comes up. Now I'm going to pull. You must have pushed, right? I've also pushed. After pushing, now I'm now going to pull. This pulling is what is now going to show all your own work, what you've worked on from your own part on my own local storage, on my own local host. Now, when you also run your git pull, it is going to pull from mine and show everything I've worked on your own local host. When you run the web, it's going to show everything. That is git pull.
Okay.
Now remember, git push is you pushing your work to your own repository, right? Pull is you pulling the work of whatsoever you are working with. If you are not working with anybody, you don't need to run, and you don't have different branches. If you are also working alone and you have different branches you are pushing to, you are not pushing to just a single branch. We have two different branches. We have the master, we have the main. When you check your GitHub, you will see the one that is there. From my own GitHub, now I have master. So anytime I want to push, it has the master, right? You can check your own if it is main or master. Now, if I'm pushing only to master, everything I'm doing, I don't have different branches. I'm pushing only to master. I don't need to pull because everything will still be showing. But when I have different branches, I have a branch for the home page, I have a branch for the about, I have different branches. That means when I push a particular work to a particular branch, I still have to pull from other branches so that every work will be showing on my own local host. Do you understand now?
Yes.
And if you are
Yeah.
also working with different people, like 2 or 3 people working on this single project, you have to pull to see whatsoever they are doing. And they also have to pull so that all your work, you all have to see whatever you are working on. So that is git pull and git push.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
No, clearly. Can you go ahead?
Okay, that's good. So moving on. Um, okay, let's talk about branching and merging. Yeah, branching and merging. Just as we've explained earlier, that you can have different branches while you are working on. Even if myself and you working on a project, we would have different branches, right? I will have my own branch that I'm pushing to. You also have your own branch. What is this branching? We said branching allows developers to work on different features or bug fixes independently. It allows developers to work on different branches or bug fixes independently. A branch is like a new or separate version of the main repository. A new or separate version of the main repository. That means you have the main repository, right? You have a main branch, which could be a master or a main. Okay, we have it here. That's a main branch. That is a default branch. For anybody using a GitHub, you have either main or master. That's the default branch that comes with GitHub. Now, you can decide to create another branch, right? You can decide to create another branch. That's a feature branch. A feature branch is used for developing new features. Decide to name it anything that will make you understand, and whoever that is visiting your code to understand, okay, this branch is for this particular thing, okay, this other branch is for this particular thing. That's a feature branch. Okay,
Yes.
so it allows you to work on different parts of a project separately without impacting the main project. You can work on different parts of the project without impacting the main project branch itself. So that's branching. Now, what is merging? Okay, the commands that you can use to create branch. The command that you can use to create branch. Now we have git branch. What is git branch? Git branch, it is a list of all local branches. When you run the command git on your terminal, it's going to show all the local branches that you have created. It's going to show it on your local system. Now, we have git branch and the name. Let's say, for instance, we have a name, migrate to Vite. Probably you are working on a project and you are using what's it called? React, create React app for the project. And now you don't want to continue with that create React app, you want to continue with Vite, right? Now you can just create another branch after you must have installed your Vite. So you can create another branch like and name it migrate to Vite. Whoever that is visiting your code would have understand that, okay, this person was actually using another tool and now this person has installed Vite, and after installing this is the branch that was created, I migrated to that branch, right? So now after creating that branch, this second command here, git branch, I'll just add the name, migrate to branch. That's the branch name. That's how to create a new branch. Do you understand me? You want to
Yeah.
create a new branch, git branch, and the name you want to use. You run this on your terminal. Now, the next one we have git checkout and the branch name. This means you want to switch this specified branch. For instance, you already created different feature branch. Let's say you have 2 feature branch created. You have one, let's say home, you have one about. Now, I've worked on the home page presently and I want to push what I've done to the home page. What command will I run? I'll run git checkout and the home. That means I have switched presently to the home and everything I have pushed will be reflecting only on the home branch. Let's say, okay, I've done that. And the next one now, I'm working on the about page and I want to push what I've done presently to the about, right? How do I switch to the specified branch? Run the command git checkout and that branch name about. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the git checkout and the whatsoever branch name you must have created using the git branch, right? Now we have git branch dash b and the branch name. Do you get git branch dash b and the branch name? This create and switches to a new branch. It creates and switches to a new branch. That means you already have a branch that you created and you now want to create a new branch. Go. Now want to create a new branch or switch to a new branch that has been created. Then you have add your dash b. Remember the first one, you don't have a dash b, right? It's still the
Yes.
checkout, but you don't have a dash b. But in this case, you have a dash b. So you have to know what you want to do. What am I doing presently? Am I creating something? Am I doing this before you know the command you want to run? Now we'll now go to git merge. Before we talk about the command, what is merging? To merge a code from one branch into the main branch. To merge a code from one branch into the main branch. That is when the merging comes in. That is when git merge comes in. Now it merges the specified branch into the current one. It merges the specified branch into the current one. Now, let's say this particular branch you don't want it again, you want it deleted. How do you delete a branch? Git branch dash d, then the branch name. Okay, git
Yeah.
branch dash d. Maybe you want to delete out of the home or you want to delete out of the anyone you want to delete. Just bring in the branch name and it will be deleted. Is everything clear?
Yes, very clear.
Yes. No question too far, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Now we have something about conflict resolution, especially when you are working with somebody. Once 2 developers are working on a project or more than, there is no way you won't have conflicts. You keep resolving conflicts all the time. Now, how do you resolve conflict? Conflict may arise during merging. When you want to merge, conflict may, come up. And you will need to manually edit the conflicting files and then commit the resolved version. Because if you don't resolve a conflict, you won't be able to merge. It will never merge. It will be telling you to go back and resolve the conflict. Okay. Now we have different ways you can use to. If you are the one working on the project yourself, you can decide to resolve the conflict from your local system. It is going to show you where the conflict is, the one you need to remove and the one you need to leave. All you just have to do is to remove the one that is conflicting each other. And on your sorry, give me a minute.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, I'll give me a minute.
No problem. No problem.
Now move your hand, Jare, to bank. Don't let me beat you. Leave there. I've not for you. Don't disturb him. Maybe you see that he's sleeping. He's not sleeping. What is he now doing? Sorry, sorry. Bele, bele. Okay, sorry, Absalam. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can.
Sorry. Absalam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I can see you are speaking, but then I can't hear you. So I believe you can hear me, right? So I'm sorry about that. Okay. Right. Okay, I can hear you now. I'm sorry about that.
No, no,
So
not at all.
moving forward. Okay, yeah. I was talking about resolving a conflict. So I said the first way you can use to resolve a conflict is through your local desktop. So you will see where the conflict is, and you can just remove that part and leave the one that is not conflicting. And the other part is while you are working with a fellow developer, right? If there is a conflicting file, because resolving the conflict, without resolving the conflict, you won't be able to either the main or the master branch. You won't be able to
Yes.
merge. So how do you resolve the conflict? On your GitHub account, you will be asked to resolve the conflict. You will see the button resolve conflict. So once you click on the button, you will see where the error is. It's going to show you the error. And all you just have to do is to remove that part and leave the one that doesn't have the error. Then you'll be able to merge.
Okay.
So after resolving a conflict on your local system, right, on your terminal, you have to add again, commit again, and repush. That is what this command here is saying. So after resolving conflict, then you run the command git add space and full stop. That's if you are pushing everything, remember. But if it is a particular file, then git add and the file name, right? So the next thing is
Yes.
your git commit and your commit message. What did you do? You resolved a merge conflict, right? Resolve
Mhm.
a merge conflict. Yeah. So your commit message must be, stating what exactly you've done, what exactly you've worked on. Your commit message be must be saying it. Okay. So since you resolve the conflict, then that should be what your commit message should be saying. Now let's go to GitHub. What is GitHub? We're talking about Git all this while, right? Now let's go to
Yes.
GitHub, the website itself. GitHub is a cloud-based hosting service that lets you manage Git repository with a web interface, right? Now all this we've learned so far, we are here to use it on our GitHub, right? What we've learned so far, they are Git commands, Git staging, Git merging, what Git is all about. Now, how do we use all these things? That is where GitHub comes in. is a cloud-based hosting service that lets you manage Git repositories with a web interface, right? Now, what is the first thing you need to do? The first thing you need to do is to create an account. You create an account. And after creating an account, you use the same username that you used for the account and the same email you used as your Git bash. That's as your Git configure. Since you said you already downloaded your Git on your system and you already installed it, the next thing you need to do at this moment is to configure it using the commands that I wrote at the first stop here.
Mhm.
So you make sure you configure it. If you don't configure it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work
Okay.
with your account. It's not going to work with your account. Now, how do you go about this? What are the key concepts of GitHub? The first thing is repositories. What is a repository? A repository is a Git project hosted online. A Git project hosted online. That means you want your project or whatsoever to be hosted online. What is the first thing you need? You need to get a repository. You need to create a repository. Now, how do you create a repository? When you are on your GitHub, you will see create a new repository. All you have to do is just to click on it and fill in the relevant details. What are the relevant details? Mostly the repository name, what you are creating, what the name is, what is the name of the project. Are you creating an app? Are you creating a website? What is the website name? That's to be training, right? So when you create that, it is now going to generate a URL for you, a unique URL for that particular project. That is where remote comes in. Now, what is this? It is
Okay.
a URL pointing to your repository, right? That that means you can't have one repository working for two different projects. It is not possible. So a repository for a project, That is why we call it a unique repository, right? So that's the remote. After that, we have a pull request. A pull request. The other time that I talked about different developers working on a project. Now, how do they merge their work? How do they put this together? How do you do this? That is where PR comes in. We call it PR, pull request. Pull. You want to, we have to send a repository to the main that okay, permit me to pull. That is pull request. It's a way to propose changes and merge branches via GitHub interface. You have to propose it to me. You don't just pull my work and get it successful. No, you have so before the pull request can also be accepted, if there is any conflict, any conflicting files there, probably you've done something, I did the same thing, or we have two different. It could be anything. It has to be resolved before it can be merged, right? So pull request is
Yes.
also very important. That's pull request. Now we have issues. What are issues? GitHub's way to track bugs, enhancement or feature request. That's issues. You will see here. So that's issues. That's GitHub way to
Okay.
track up. So that's issues. Now, how do this work flow? How do this work? The first thing is to create a repo on GitHub, right? You create a
Yeah.
repo on GitHub. You said you know how to create a repository, right?
Yes. Did it.
Okay, so just that way, it's just a very easy way. You see the create repo, you create your repo, put your name, and that's it, right? So the next thing after creating your repo, it also says you can connect on local to GitHub. How do you now connect your work? Like the project you are working on. Let's say I'm working on an app. Let's say it is a meal app, right? So I already created a repository on my GitHub main app. So the URL that is going to generate is going to have the main app, the HTTP whatsoever main app.git is going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means I've created a repository. So now, how do I now connect this my repository to my local host so that whatever I am working on, whatever I am pushing on that project will be pushing only to that repository that I've created. I can be working on different projects at a time. Can be working with different people. Let's say this person wants to create a website, this person is creating an app. Right now, how do make it in a way such that I don't mess everything up? Like I don't push this application project to a website project. How do I go about it? That is where this repository comes in. Once you have registered a particular repository, once you have connected a particular repository on a particular project, whatever you are pushing will be going directly to that repository. Okay, so that is how you can connect your local to your GitHub. Now, how do you do this? We have Git remote, original. Then you copy your repository and you paste it here. Now, how do they generate this repository? This repository is usually generated in this format: https dot slash slash github.com slash your username, it could be Abdulsalam, slash the repository name you created. Maybe it is a main app repo name that you created. So it's
Yeah.
going to have a slash main app and git. Let's say it is a website, a Blog Scholars Africa website. That's the name of the repository. So it's going to have after your username slash the particular name dot git. So whenever I'm working on that project on my local, I don't need to worry or be scared that, oh, I don't know where this work is getting pushed to. So far I've connected this particular repository using this command, git remote, add origin, and I've copied. It is advisable to copy the repository directly from your GitHub. Don't type it so that you won't, mix them up. Once you just copy it and use command git remote add origin, just paste the repository and click on your enter. That means it has been connected. And after connecting, what is the next thing you do? Git push dash u. That's the command. Git push dash u origin main. If your own GitHub, if the branch name is main, you will see it. You have to check it. You will be able to see it. I will show you when we are done here. So git push dash u origin main if it is main. And if it is master, usually I work on master branch. So mine will
Okay.
be git push origin master. So that means I have pushed the repository, I've connected everything. After connecting, then I push. Once I push, everything I'm doing, every changes I'm making will be going directly to that. Is that clear?
Yes.
Fine. Okay, now we have what we call collaborate via pull request. I've explained this, right? So how you can collaborate, with others to work on the project. We have what we call fork repo. Fork. What is fork? When you are forking somebody's repo, that means you are making a copy of that person. Do you hey chime my battery is low, but we are almost done. This is the last part. So that means you are making a copy of that repository, right? So when you want to collaborate and work with somebody via pull request, the first thing is to fork the repository. After forking the repository, then you make the changes you want to make, whatever you want to do, whatever you are working on. Then after doing it, then you create your pull request. After you must have run the command, you must have pushed, blah 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 and all. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
Any questions so far?
No, no. Go ahead.
Okay, what about from our previous classes? Do you have any questions?
Since we have, because I review all the videos and everything is clear.
Okay. The last
Since
time
we
you said you
know.
had challenges with transition and this
Yeah,
other one.
I was able to fix it. It's okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, so presently I don't have any question, right?
No question. No.
Okay, okay, that's good to know. So as it is now, we are done with everything for this what's it called? For this part. We are
Okay.
done for now. Yes. So you can decide to move on to the pro. This is the starter course. This is the starter course. which deals with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and it all. So then you can also talk about the rest of it. But this is the basic. This is the basic. Without this basic, without you understanding and knowing this basic, no, you might not be able to, work on the pro. So to fork a project, when you are um on the what's it called, on your GitHub, you will see the fork the project. When you are on that particular repo, you will see fork it. So just click on it, right? So once you are done forking the repo, you make your changes, whatever you want to do, and you create pull request. Remember, when you create a pull request, it is going to send a request to the person. It's going to propose to the person, okay, this person has made a particular changes. Okay, view it. Are you okay with it? You want to accept it and all, right? So,
Okay.
so so now we have handle issues. Remember, we talked about issue, right? We said issue is a way to track your bugs, your enhancements or feature requests. Handle issues. Just
Mhm.
create issues for bugs or feature. Yeah, Absalam, can you hear me? Absalam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, my system went off. This is my phone. So basically, we're actually done, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was just talking about the issues, how to handle issues. So you will see the 14 there for the handle issues. So just click on just like the resolve conflict, right? So you can use it to
Yeah.
track if there is a bug on your project.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm able to charge my system today. I don't know if you can fix just 10 to 20 minutes in the afternoon or evening to tell you how to start your project, how to go about it. Okay, so that you can start working. And I also like to show you some features on the GitHub account so that you can understand.
Okay.
Yeah, so I also like to create some branches using the examples that we are working on the file so that you can also understand it. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that later
Yeah,
today.
no problem. Available. I will be available for anything.
All right, no problem. That means I will message you if I'm able to then.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
bye
much.
for now. Okay.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Stop recording.